Auburn quarterback Hank Brown hanging out with us for a few minutes here on this quick edition of Locked On Auburn. Hank, just let's just go ahead and address it. I imagine the locker room after your first loss during your Auburn career. What was kind of the mood like?
Yeah, it was definitely disappointment. We know we were better than what we put on the field, so it was definitely something that we didn't want, obviously, and we all know that we can grow from that and get better. And excited, looking for a big game this week.
Yeah, what are you expecting against Georgia? First big home game. Obviously, you've been in Jordan-Hare Stadium when it's been full. It's going to be a different type of full this Saturday. What are your expectations for that?
Yeah, they're obviously a great football team. We're going into it with the mentality that we can beat them, and I don't think we should change that no matter who we play. I mean, we should have that mentality in every game, and I think we can do that. They're obviously very talented, number one in the country, and this game is going to be packed, like you're saying. I think we're just motivated and excited, and just looking forward to all the attention that's going to be around this game. And so, just going out there, teams kind of, looking to shock the world.
Sure. Absolutely. We've talked about your role during the week being part of the scout team as far as mimicking and trying to, simulate what the opposing quarterback's going to be. Georgia starting quarterback Carson Beck. When you watch tape on him and try to become him during this week in practice, what stands out about Carson Beck to you?
Yeah, he's a good quarterback. He's still getting developed and has a lot of potential. But he can kind of do it all. He can make all the throws on the field. Obviously they use their tight end a ton, Brock Bowers, and so just trying to learn all the techniques and different tendencies that he uses to give our defense a good look. Sure,
absolutely. Yeah, Brock Bowers, I imagine that's hard to emulate in practice.
Very hard, very hard.
He's pretty good. So, big injury to the running back room. Damari Austin's going to miss some time, according to Coach Freeze earlier this week. Your roommate, good friends, and with Jeremiah Cobb. A lot of folks are kind of itching to see more of him. He's done such an impressive job in his small sample size so far. I'm sure you've talked to him about it. What's kind of his feeling as he may get a bigger share of the offense moving forward?
Yes, sir. He's excited. Obviously he's a stud. I mean, he's shown flashes of that. He hasn't gotten, a ton of opportunity, and now this is his chance to do that. And, he's excited, obviously, and just motivated and ready to kind of show really what he's made of. And no better team to do it than against Georgia. So I'm excited for him. He's gonna really show everybody what he's made of, and he's a stud. So big things coming.
Hank, what's the feeling in the quarterback room right now? There's been, there's a lot of chatter, a lot of people that want to act like they're the head coach and, be able to offer solutions to the offense, to the passing game. But I mean, it seems like all of you in that room, Peyton, Robbie, Holden, yourself, Sawyer, I mean, you guys spend so much time and seem like such detail-oriented folks and hardworking athletes. What's the general mood when you guys are kind of meeting as quarterbacks?
I think it's changed a little bit now, and in a good way. I think we've really just understood that, we really got to lock in and be more, like you're saying, we're very detail oriented, but we really got to be more detail oriented, and not just as quarterbacks, but throughout the entire offense. So I think, it's been a good change of just the aspect of motivated and really, trying to work harder, get better, and more focused, more serious kind of attitude throughout the quarterback room and throughout the entire offense as a whole.
Hank, there's a lot of talk around Auburn football's offense in regard specifically to the RPO game and what Hugh Freeze brings. He talked about that at his presser earlier this week, that he brought that with him to the conference when he was at Ole Miss. Obviously, those offenses are very successful, same at Liberty. And then what I think you and I both agree that eventually he will have here at Auburn. When fans talk about the RPO and the decision making that a quarterback has to make, what's the window? How quick? And I'm sure it varies based off of the defensive look and what type of the play call it is. But typically, how quick does a quarterback have to make that decision between a run or a pass?
Yeah, it's a very quick window. You don't have time to be late, or else it's going to be a turnover in this league. So you know they always teach us different ways to be able to process that, and a lot of stuff is pre-snap. You got to identify pre-snap, what the defense is doing, based on what RPO it is, whether you're looking at the corner, the nickel, the end, the edge, whatever it is. You got to have the idea going into it pre-snap, what you're looking at, and then post-snap, you got a split second to see if he does what you want and you get the throw look, or if he stays out there and you're handing it off into a small box. So it's a really quick window, and there's a lot more that goes into it than
Sure.
the regular person would think. So it's a very quick decision, and they do a good job of teaching us how to understand that based on the play call.
Is there? I mean, I guess the receiver, the tight end, and the running backs would all have to know that as well, right? So that's something that everybody's kind of looking at pre-snap, and everybody's got to be on the same page without being able to talk about it.
Yes, sir. That's why this is such a developmental offense that we all got to be on the same page with what's going on. And that's something that we'll get better at as the year goes on. And so, I'm excited to see how we grow as a team throughout the year. But definitely something that we're working on to try and all get on the same page on different RPOs.
Sure, absolutely. Hank, I follow you on social media, and you post a lot about your faith. If you wouldn't mind talking about that and how that kind of helps you as a football player, as a man, and I mean, just I assume it impacts everything.
Yes, sir. It definitely impacts everything. I try to keep my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ as at the center of my life, and
Right.
It's something that correlates into my entire life. And so, as far as football goes, I'm playing football. I believe God's put me in this situation to glorify and honor Him and use my platform to do that. And so, this is a great opportunity for me just to pour into my teammates. Any praise or glory that I get, it's not me that's doing anything. God's blessed me with what I have. And so it's just a great opportunity. I talked to Coach Freeze this week about starting a Bible study on the team. And we're getting that started, I believe, next week. So, I really believe that, number one should always be, for me, number one is my faith. And everything else correlates around that. And so, that's a big part of my life. And so I'm trying to, exemplify that and just love others, the way that Jesus loved. So.
Yeah, and I mean, Auburn's campus has become a national story in that regard, with 200 students getting baptized in that lake behind the Red Barn. I mean, one of your teammates was one of those folks that participated in that as well. I mean, it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty cool thing to see, Hank. So thank you for contributing to that.
Yes, sir. It's been great, having this community of believers around me just to push me and, grow closer to the Lord. My brother's here as well, and he's a strong believer, and he helps me as well. It's always talked about, like, the 5 closest people around you are those who you're most like. You can tell who you are based on the 5 close people around you. And
right.
I have some buddies on the team that help push me closer to the Lord, and then also my brother as well, who's a big part of that. And so, just definitely thankful for this community that is just moving right now for the Lord. So it's awesome.
So I assume your brother is older than you, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. My child just ran in here, and my wife had to come get her. Was he already at Auburn beforehand? Or did he transfer when you did? When you said you were coming here?
He transferred when I was coming here. So
cool.
Yeah.
Was he at Liberty?
He played quarterback at Chattanooga.
Oh, okay.
And so he's now going into his junior year. He just transferred here to be a student.
Cool. Awesome. I didn't realize that. That's great. That's great. Hank, thank you so much for your time as always, man. And we'll talk again soon.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it.